United and Barca match, bro. That's still the best European match that happened within the last 2 weeks.
Rashford, of course.
Yeah.
All the form he is was just incredible.
That team on paper isn't a bad squad, by the way. Hey, what's up, everyone? Another episode of Let's Talk Footy podcast. Your host Samson and co-host with us today. What's going on, bro? How are you doing today, bro?
Doing good.
Yeah.
A lot of exciting games we saw. We just gotta recap.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I feel like the first game we should just get into is like Liverpool and Real Madrid, bro. Like, yo, bro, both of us had L takes. I won't lie. If Nobel is here, you definitely give us, you know what I mean, our hate. But I definitely was like so surprised. The first 20 minutes, I think, like Liverpool had 2 goals up, and yeah.
But that was just terrible for Liverpool. I mean, for me, like what fueled me for that prediction, what I thought Liverpool was going to win is just, Champions League, Anfield. I think literally, off their form, this game had to be the game that they had to bring everything in order to like keep their, I guess, respect or reputation of being a top club. Prem is out the window.
They're like 8th in the Prem right now,
yeah. In the Prem. I guess in the Cup, it's not really looking good. So I think Champions League was like their last chance. This game was like the last chance to like really, say, oh no, we're still here, But that failed miserably. They started good. Darwin Núñez was a very good goal, but I think. Yeah, just second half crumbled. And the goalkeeper mistakes is insane.
Oh my god, both goalkeepers. Alisson and Courtois, like yeah. But I like
everything just crumbled.
And like I want to know like your opinion, like what do you think it was on Liverpool's side that kind of like had them like fumble down? Because I said I had a couple of things, but I want to know your opinion first on like why do you think Liverpool like fumbled that game? Because they were up 2-0, like that's it's a pretty big lead, and they were also at home. So like for me it was like a no-brainer. They should have won that match, but like.
I think it was just a lack of complacency, or they were too complacent, I should say. Especially, I knew the threat for Madrid or the threat for Liverpool was Vinny and Rodrigo, those type of players, and players in midfield too. Especially Vinny against Trent. That's a very scary matchup. So that was leading in, and once Vinny got going. Like they just
and when Benzema got going too.
When Benzema got going too as well, those two were going to be the main threats, and they flicked on at the second half, and there was just no stopping them.
Yeah, and I swear, like when Benzema like came off, like came on, like I was like, man, like this match was over. Like he was just it was a dog, and I think when going back to Madrid now, like I don't think they have a chance.
It's over. I mean,
over.
It was Anfield. Anfield they had to win. They had that reputation of Champions League nights in Anfield. It's hard to play there, but Madrid made it look way
second half. It was like you played easy mode on FIFA, like.
It was just.
Yeah, and then like I was gonna get into like, does your decision stand on like Klopp like not being sacked for Liverpool going into like next season? Because like now they're basically out of Champions League. Literally, like the Premier League is out the table. They're not winning any trophies this year. You know what I mean?
I think just with the history of Klopp and Liverpool, just bringing them all the way up, I don't think. If he gets sacked, I don't think it's a mid-season type of thing. I think they're waiting until end of the season just to kind of reassure, and then they'll probably make their final decision in the summer whether he stays or goes. But if there's a chance of him leaving, I think it won't be until the end of the season.
End of the season. No, I feel like I don't know for Klopp, like we were talking about like multiple other pods, but like he's had so much history with the club. He's done so much for the club, like bring them a lot of trophies, that they haven't had in a while. Yeah. I think like. For me, if I was in Liverpool stance, I wouldn't have too much what's the word? Like I wouldn't be too forceful to like let him out the club. Like I feel like I would have to vibe it out from like the players' perception, because like in my opinion, like you can't blame the coach only on like what happens in the club.
It's not all the coaches, players too.
Yeah, a coach can only tell somebody so much, especially like how like that team is played. That team on paper isn't a bad squad, by the way. It's not a bad squad. Definitely some old players, definitely some guys, you know what I mean, they're out their prime and whatnot. But like overall, like Liverpool should be a top 5 team in the Premier League, no question, And I think like their underperformance on like multiple ends, when it comes to up top like Núñez and whatnot. And I think that has a determining factor on like why Liverpool is playing the way they are. But in my opinion, like I've had like both like ideas in my head, like should Klopp get sacked, should Klopp not? But like in my opinion, I think they should write him out. No, pause. But I'll definitely say definitely let him go for a little bit and just kind of like maybe like have him for one more season. Have like I would say upper management kind of like deal with the team, like the inside things with the team. But you know, I still believe that Sadio Mane leaving the club was probably the worst thing for that club, and that's like they're getting punished. Like I feel like the Liverpool's upper managers are getting punished for not paying Sadio Mane right now, and like they're definitely like, you know, they're not showing. So it's like, you know, on that, I want to ride out. I want to keep Liverpool keep going and just, you know, see where they go on that end. But I want to get into like City and Leipzig, because that game, I feel like that was a really surprising match from like both ends, because like City on first end, like they came out very good. You know, Leipzig was like, we weren't as, you know what I mean, as good in the beginning of the match, but like, I don't know, that second half, it was definitely like a shift in like who the better squad, and I don't know, like in your opinion, do you feel like, you know, what do you think? Well, like, let me get your like intake just on the game overall.
Yeah, I think the game is. I think I don't know if I watched the full game, but I think towards the beginning it was like City dominant, especially in possession. I feel like City controlled most of the game through possession. You know, just because of what the players have, Bernardo Silva, you know, all the midfield players, so press dominant, so like really well at keeping the ball, controlling the game well. And I think Leipzig, even though with that pressure, they were able to, you know, hold them off for a bit. Unfortunately, the goal was kind of, you know, it was just kind of unfortunate. I don't know if you saw City's goal. It just went through one of the defenders' legs and just dribbled through, and then Mahrez just puts it away. Yeah. It's a
very tight space, by the way. Mahrez is known for that. He gets like very like tough shots.
Still a good goal, by the way.
Yeah.
But, I think Leipzig just pulled it together. Great performances from the defense. I don't know if you're hip to Gavardio.
Yeah.
He's a very, very, very good talent in defense. I think you guys were targeting him too.
Yeah.
Even though he was the guy who got megged in that goal, but he still played very well. And I think Leipzig should be a little satisfied with this win. Just, you know, not being able to drop points or lose at home. But I feel like the nerves is obviously going back to the Etihad for the second leg is going to be very scary. Very fortunate that Haaland didn't punish them in that first leg, so he's definitely going to be looking to punish them in the Etihad. So, but yet again, it's still an even game, still could go either way. So yeah, I feel like it was just a good matchup, and I feel like City would have been disappointed not to get the win at home.
I know, and I wanted to add this too. I feel like City made a lot of mistakes going into that second half. Pep, I want to blame Pep. First of all, no subs. No subs that match.
I saw the interview too. He was just like, you know, just because I have subs doesn't mean I'm not going to use them. It's an interesting response.
Exactly, right? Leipzig like used all their subs. You remember like throughout the whole like second half. Second, they dropped. If you didn't notice, Mahrez, they dropped actually that second half, and I did not like that move. I feel like they got burnt out actually. Going into like during that second half, because now they're playing, you know what I mean, box to box kind of a football, and it was just like, in my opinion, I thought City, you know, fumbled on that end, because I think the first half, if City had stayed with what they had and maybe they made a couple of subs, I think they should have won that game. Easy. City were the better team that first half. In the second half, Leipzig, like, they just came out and they just like they were crushing it. How many shots did they have within the first 15 to 20 minutes? Yeah, and De Bruyne not playing as well. Yeah, definitely big factor. And I want to say this on the record. You know, as much as Haaland is a great striker, De Bruyne is the heart of that team. Like, De Bruyne, like, he makes Haaland who he is. All in all, like, the way, because, like, I was watching it with, like, a couple of my boys, right? And I was like, man, like, Haaland cannot, like, dribble the football for his life. Like,
yeah, that's his type of striker. You know, he needs the service.
He's
not the type to, you know, take on a defender and stuff like that. As long as you give him in that box, he's
open. And no, but the thing is like, when you even watch him, like, you remember how much space he would have at certain possessions during the second half, and he couldn't even do anything. I was like, man, now you don't really notice this in the Premier League, because he's not like, you know, he's not too up, and you know what I mean, he's not, there's somebody always providing to him when it comes to the Prem. So when watching this match, I was like noticing it. I was like, wow, like, he's not like, I'm not saying he's not as good as people seem. I'm not gonna like say, I'm not degrading Haaland, but I definitely don't have high hopes for City. I don't think no.
I'm not gonna like that.
I'm glad. I hope he watches this, but I don't have high hopes for City going into that second leg. Even if De Bruyne plays in one, we'll see how that ends up. But I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of City passing through. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah.
I feel like City could. You never know. It's still even, but yeah, I feel like City could probably get through that.
Like, easily, or like, do you feel like there's definitely gonna be like a dogfight going into that match?
I don't know, man. I think just at the Etihad, they're just gonna try to get it done as hard as possible. So yeah, I favor City.
Yeah. And going into, like, you know, the other side of Manchester, bro, United and Barca match, bro, that was
a crazy game.
That's still the best European match that happened within the last 2 weeks, bro.
Very good game.
Man, like, let me get your take on that. Like, what did you think about it?
Obviously Barca was missing Gavi and Pedri terribly. You know, that midfield, you know, there's a lack of creating chances. Their only goal was a penalty. Man U could have gotten away a lot harder, and they could have scored a lot more. I think if you saw Bruno's first chance.
Yeah, that was, oh my God, wow.
I think the highlights of those that game was Casemiro. He played fantastic.
Oh my God.
Especially in the, like, I just noticed straight away.
Even the Newcastle match, we'll talk about that. Yeah.
As well. But in the first like 20 minutes, I could see the impact of passes, progressive, so good. And just, you know.
I look by the way. I was gonna say I look at Casemiro kind of like how De Bruyne is in City. Like he's like kind of like the heart of that squad.
He is the heart of the team so far. Yeah. Also, Garnacho, I think when he came on, he looked very good. He's a very good impact sub. He was getting forward a lot, even with the small minutes he was playing. And I think who scored the first goal for Man United?
Who scored? Bruno didn't score. It was someone else.
I know Anthony scored the second goal, but I just
no. Rashford.
Rashford scored. Oh yeah,
Rashford scored the first goal. I thought Rashford scored second.
Rashford, of course, on the form he is, was just incredible, and you know, just Anthony, you know, showing up actually in the. As a £100 million player, you know, that's what you need to see from your £100 million player, being able to win a game for your team and send your team through. So I favored Man U to win. You know, coming in Old Trafford, no Pedri, no Gavi. I feel like it was a pretty easy prediction for Man U to win that. You know.
And if you even saw it, by the way, if you saw that Lewandowski penalty, he barely made it.
Yeah.
He barely made it.
De Gea should have done better. He should have had a stronger hand.
Yeah, but De Gea's the GOAT, man. Like he's been saving Man United on like every like match, like any big match they're playing so far. And while watching Manchester United, I have this take to say, like, I definitely think Manchester United is not too far off from winning the Premier League. Like I don't like we did have this discussion last pod, and we were kind of like discussing on the possibility of United making that stretch, and Yoni was like, you know, it could happen, and you know, it was just a discussion back and forth, but. Like, from the top 3 clubs in the Premier League race right now, Man United has been the most consistent club.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The most consistent club. And if that consistency continues, I see if City makes a couple mistakes in the Prem or Arsenal makes a couple mistakes in the Prem, and I'm not surprised if they do because, like you said, they've been so consistent throughout the whole year. You're going to have hiccups throughout the, you know what I mean, the journey into that. If United could capitalize on, like, the times that Arsenal and City don't perform in the weeks of the Prem, I would not be surprised if we came on this and we were talking about United possibly winning the Premier League. Like that, like they have been the best. Like for me, obviously, I watch Premier League and I'm watching like Champions League, but for me, United's been the best club I've watched since like after the World Cup.
Yeah, in terms of consistency, I would agree. Like you said, just those hiccups. I feel like it's more inclined for Arsenal to happen to them. You know, Arsenal had the history, especially last season. You know, they pretty much had fourth in the bag, but just bad string games, losing those games, fall to fifth, lose that Champions League spot. But I mean, City. The reason why City has been so dominant, they could just go on those 10. I think I said it before. I think someone else said this before, but they could just go on that 10-game winning streak, like somewhere in the season, just gap the second place spot. So I feel like if they do end up doing that again, that's just the goal. If City can just keep just retain form and then be able to just go on that long stretch, they could just close out the thing. But you never know. Maybe City just end up having those hiccups and the pressure gets to them, something like that. But we never know. We'll see. Yeah,
because they did play against Bournemouth recently, and they killed them, right?
Yeah.
So when watching that match, like I was like, oh, okay, you see the real City come back,
Yeah.
But then you see these other games, you might play Nottingham Forest and draw, shout out no go. But sometimes you'll see hiccups on City's end, but. I definitely want to see how this goes Premier League wise, but I think those 3 clubs be careful to watch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Big squads and whatnot. And I wanted to talk about my club Chelsea. It's been really tough. I'm not gonna lie. When you're hungry, Chelsea up, bro. It's so bad. I as much as I try to give a hope to my squad, man, bro, that game today against Tottenham was oh my goodness, I don't know, people, I talk to a lot of other Chelsea fans, we try to give them chances, we try to give Potter chances, to do better and whatnot, but, I'm still standing on what I said, sack Potter, hashtag sack Potter on Elb.
Yeah, I mean, I think as more and more games you lose, the more and more that, Potter out is growing and growing with seeing the fans, so I feel like, it's just really not looking good for him. I think the only other advice or, thing they need to do is just start winning, start playing better. Start trying things new. They have $600 million they spent on new players. It's time to, I guess, experiment. Because obviously, what's happening now is not working. even though it should be. I mean, just 600 million on all these, talents across the world. It's just not gel. So he just needs to find that way to gel all these players, make it work, find a system, and results will come.
Yeah, and no, it doesn't. I don't like to tend to blame Potter, but I still want him sacked. That's not going to like distract that point. But it's like it starts from upper management. We talked about this on other pods. It's just like I don't think my management knows football, and I just. It's just like we're throwing money. It's like we're playing like FIFA and we have like 100 million coins. You know what I'm trying to say? Like we're not like we're just going on the transfer market and seeing what's nice. You know what I mean? Oh, they have green chemistry, they have yellow chemistry. Okay, we're gonna play with them. But it's like it doesn't really make sense like what we're doing. I wanna see how we go through the rest of the season. But it's sack Potter. Like we'll see how Chelsea goes. Borussia Dortmund. I still have hope in that match. I would say like on one, I just have like a little bit of hope on that, but. Going forward, I thought Tottenham would be at least somewhat of a draw, a win or somewhat, but Chelsea obviously didn't perform on that, and it's really tough for us as a club. Just being a big club and we're not performing the way that we are. It's tough right now, and you're a Bayern fan, so you know best. You're so used to winning, And you guys actually played today, right?
We did. We ended up winning. We beat second place. So I feel like, we did take over first. I think our only challenge is Dortmund right now, between like a 3-point gap. But I think we're picking up form so far. But I'm just looking forward to that second leg against PSG.
What do you think about that, by the way, the PSG and Bayern match?
Mane actually returned for his first game back.
Oh, really? He did?
Today.
Okay.
I think he came. Yeah, he did come off the bench. He looked pretty good. So I'm excited to see him back. I kind of gave my insight a little bit last week. My only worry is pretty much Mbappe at this point. I would have said Neymar, but yet again Neymar could just kill us. But I think last leg we handled Neymar and Messi very, very well. But it's just Mbappe. As soon as he came on, I was just
he's
scared.
I'm both bro. That guy, any club, international, he just balls, bro. The way he's a baller, bro. He doesn't. I swear, I don't even think he gets like that. It was you know what I mean? Those nervousness and whatnot. The way he came into that Bayern game last time was crazy, bro.
I knew as soon as he gets in behind. That's the only thing. Just when he gets in behind, it's
over because his pace is ridiculous, bro.
He's gone. But I'm super confident in our defense though. I think Upamecano, De Ligt, our back four. Upamecano's been insane. I feel like he's been very underrated this season. To me, one of the best one-on-one defenders. I feel like out of everyone in our defense, he's the best one to show up against Mbappe. But I feel like if our defense plays just as well as last leg, and our attackers are on point. Kingsley Coman's on fire this season. So I feel like if he, continues to showcase that, he likes to score against PSG. So I hope he does it again. But I'm actually a lot more confident, and just adding Mane back into that team is just
That's gonna be a problem for PSG. I still stand with you, bro. Bayern all the way, bro. Bayern's gonna get that dub.
Best believe we win Nobel. I'm come to the head.
No, 100%. And I had one more. Oh, actually, Chelsea Dortmund. Who did you have?
I did have Dortmund. I'm not gonna lie.
Dortmund.
Just with the form, I don't know. I can't see myself.
Chelsea.
Chelsea.
But I want to be honest. I think out of the last 3 or 4 games Chelsea's played, that was the best match they played.
Yeah, I feel like it would be close. I feel like you guys will obviously score. I feel like it'll probably be
That's a home match for us too, so
2-1 or 3-2 if you guys lose. That's what I would say.
2-1, 3.
Just I know you guys would probably get on the score sheet. It would probably be a 1-goal difference.
Yeah. How about for Tottenham and Milan?
Milan, I think Milan.
That's a tough match. I think that's going to be
because the way they won, it was just that goal was just I don't know. It was a weird goal, and it was only 1-0.
It wasn't a domination kind of win. You know what I mean?
So that one could go either way. I want Milan to win something.
Milan. Yeah, me too, bro. I don't want any team in London going down. Any team in London, Arsenal, West Ham, Tottenham, bro, forget it.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, for sure. And to be honest, the games are actually in 2 weeks, so we're probably gonna get more predictions from Nobel and Yoni next match. Yeah. I want to get more into that and whatnot, but for now, I think this is all the football that we could talk about for today. You know what I mean? But I appreciate you guys for watching. Tune in for the next pod, and more stuff coming soon. Let's Talk Footy pod out.